In the dead of night, Trooper Matthews spotted two Scat Pack Challengers running door-to-door through the streets of Atlanta. These ghost-plated Mopars were treating the city roads like a private drag strip until the GSP blue lights hit their mirrors. Instead of yielding, both Hemi engines screamed to life as they tore onto the interstate, initiating a triple-digit pursuit through the Interstate 75.
Yeah, we're going together, coming up on 166.
Might be passing 166 right now. Give me just a second. Yeah, passing 166, passing 166. Coming up on 85, coming up to 85.
Coming up on 85.
All right, passing up 85, staying 75 south, Cleveland, 75 south, passing Cleveland. All right, one is exiting on Cleveland, one staying on the interstate. I'm taking the one on the interstate.
The brotherhood of the road evaporated at the Cleveland Avenue exit when the driver of the white car took the exit and left his friend to face GSP's most skilled interceptor alone. The gray Challenger botched the split, finding himself one-on-one with a trooper who stayed glued to his bumper at top speed.
On to Riverdale, exiting on to Riverdale.
Exiting on Riverdale.
Southbound Riverdale, almost 1050, 1050, 1050. Still going, still going.
Can I get there for 85?
Yes, but you're probably better off. I don't know, to be honest with you. We're passing up Clayton County units now, passing Clayton County units now. Stand by.
Passing Clayton County units.
Pit, pit, pit. I'm trying to get him off the road, get him disabled. Stand by. All right, stand by. Multiple.
Once the chase hit Riverdale Road, Matthews ended the run with a pit maneuver that sent the heavy Mopar into a violent 360-degree spin. The driver was hauled to jail, facing a third-degree felony charge that could land him behind bars for 5 years. When a midlife crisis hits, most people buy a treadmill, but this couple decided to treat Interstate 630 like an open-throttle drag strip. At 2:15 a.m. on February 15, 2024, a husband and wife seemingly left the kids at home to find some high-speed romance. Corporal Ben Ibarra clocked a white Mercedes GLE and a Cadillac CT6 flying through Little Rock at over 100 miles per hour. Instead of pulling over, the duo tore down University Avenue, blowing every red light and pushing their heavy luxury cars to a dangerous 120 miles per hour.
Side by side. They're slowing down, but they're still sitting side by side. Stop slowing down.
The date night hit a wall on Colonel Glenn Road when both cars finally screeched to a halt. The driver of the Cadillac, Rodney Edgerson, jumped out and immediately gave up his partner, yelling that the driver in the Mercedes was his wife. While Rodney hit the pavement and complied with orders, his better half, Jatanga Reddick, wasn't done.
Get on the ground. Roll your window down. What are you doing? Step out of the car.
It's my bike.
Step out of the car.
What you mean step out?
Step out the car.
What you mean step out the car? I'ma step out the car.
Hey, that's my wife, bro. I don't care. Stand on the ground. Get out the car.
Get out the car. I'm not.
The getaway attempt fell apart when the Mercedes literally lost a wheel in a residential yard. Jatanga ditched the three-wheeled SUV and tried to hide in a nearby backyard, but the law caught up to her minutes later. Even in handcuffs, her ego stayed in the fast lane. She repeatedly told the corporal she was drunk, rich, and didn't give a F about the charges because she could afford them. She was hauled off to the Pulaski County Jail, facing a long list of charges including felony fleeing, DWI, and reckless driving. On October 29, 2022, Trooper Nathan Williams spotted 3 cars racing down the highway, 2 Challenger SRTs and a Mustang GT. With all 3 scattering, he had to choose his target and went after the Challenger, probably not the best call as it blasted past 150 miles per hour and pulled away fast. The Challenger tore down the highway at 170 miles per hour, weaving between cars and even blasting the wrong way up an on-ramp. Skid marks across the road showed just how close it came to losing control, but he still outrun Williams on highway. Later that night, one driver rolled back home thinking the race was over, but racing with plates on is never a good idea. Trooper Williams had all 3 racers' info and their addresses. The chase ended on the highway, but the payback came at their doors. On December 4, 2022, the legendary Trooper Bird was on the hunt for 2 Dodge Chargers, tearing up the interstate. Trooper Monty Hernandez received the bolo and staged his patrol unit, waiting for the targets to fly past his position. He didn't have to wait long. The Chargers screamed by, already clocked at 140 miles per hour. The lead car was completely blacked out, looking like a veteran of the high-speed chases. Hernandez lit them up, and the chase was on. While the blacked-out Charger managed to vanish into the darkness of the interstate, the second driver realized he couldn't shake Hernandez and made a desperate move to transition into the city. Hernandez briefly lost sight of him in the urban maze, but another ASP trooper was already in position, picking up the primary pursuit as the Charger tried to disappear through the streets.
Okay, he's got a pretty good jump on you. You lose sight of him. 10-20 intersection area.
The chase reached a breaking point at a sharp curve that proved too much for both the suspect and the trooper. Both vehicles lost control and crashed out. The suspect scrambled from the wreckage and bolted into the woods, but his freedom lasted only 10 minutes before he was sniffed out and taken into custody. When Trooper Bird arrived at the scene and saw the wrecked Dodge, he was actually a little sad. He had been hoping to catch up and grab some pit highlights for the reel. It feels like in Arkansas, if you own a Dodge Charger, you're legally required to run from the state police. In Georgia, the highway is a hunting ground, and Trooper Matthews is the apex predator. He's the guy with a legendary zero-loss record. If you run from him, you're just a future arrest report waiting to be typed. On February 3rd, 2024 at 2:46 a.m., Matthews spotted a gray Nissan GTR, the twin-turbo beast known as Godzilla, racing a Dodge Charger side by side on GA 400. While most people see a 600-horsepower supercar and think impossible, Matthews just saw his next target. He flipped the blues, and the driver, Patrick Lee, made the catastrophic mistake of thinking he could outrun a legend.
He don't know how to apex. Get in the 85, stand by, gonna try to pit. Alright, got too close to the wall for me to commit to it. We're connectors, or excuse me, 85 south, 85 south. Back in on this thing a little loose. Alright, he made it through, coming up to Cortland, Stand by, he's trying to swerve off here at Cortland. Made it on to Cortland, off at Cortland. We got to get him stopped here pretty quick. Coming up to the red light, intersection clear, fresh green. My GPS come unplugged.
Here you drive.
Left. Back to the interstate, We're going to be coming out right here at the HOV ramp. Clear. HOV ramp to connector south. Connector south, be coming up to 20.
What's this, connector?
Yeah, we're still on the connector, coming up to Cleveland.
Still on the connector, coming up on Cleveland. Left line.
Tell them Cleveland in a mile.
Cleveland in a mile.
I see y'all's lights, I'm coming up.
Going 85 south, 85 south.
85 south.
Nope, 75 south.
What is it?
75 south.
75 south.
He swerved off.
There's a Nissan GTR.
Unsuccessful bid.
The chase hit a fever pitch as they screamed onto Interstate 285. Pushing your car to a heart-stopping 160 miles per hour is one thing, but looking in the mirror and seeing a GSP cruiser still glued to your bumper at those speeds is a terrifying feeling. Lee pushed the GTR to its absolute limit, hitting 175 miles per hour through the Riverdale runway tunnel. At those speeds, one wrong move and it would take the EMS crew the rest of the night to pick your parts up off the asphalt.
There's not. They get further and further apart.
All right, right shoulder. He almost losing it in the curves. Still right shoulder, coming up the flat shoals. Atlanta, my car's giving up on me. My car's giving up on me. It's dying. He's coming up to the Union City exit. Definitely gonna lose him as fast as he's going.
Just as the pursuit reached its peak, Matthews' patrol car suffered a flat tire, forcing the legendary trooper to finally back down. But Ellie's luck ran out just miles later when he slammed into a raised median, disabling his supercar. He tried to act casual by walking into a gas station with two buddies, but Union City police were already waiting. When Matthews finally arrived, he found Lee smelling like a Buckhead bar with bloodshot eyes. He traded his Godzilla for a seat in the Clayton County Jail, facing 1 to 5 years for felony fleeing and DUI. On May 14, 2022, the legendary trooper Jacob Byrd was stationary on the interstate when he spotted his favorite kind of trouble. Byrd has a personal, special relationship with high-end Dodges. Seeing them fly past always makes his heart beat a little faster. A pair of street racers and a Dodge Challenger and Charger screamed by, locked in a duel at 150 miles per hour. Byrd lit them up, and the hunt was on. At 160 miles per hour, the suspects turned the chase into a deadly game by going blackout, killing their lights at triple-digit speeds.
Lincoln Adam, Union Lincoln Charger.
They just split. One went 9th Street. I'm staying with the Charger on 30 eastbound.
Staying with the Charger, 30 eastbound. 37 was not green also. It's 137. I'm looking out DVD right there.
In the chaos of the high-speed split, the Challenger dove for an exit to vanish into the night. Byrd didn't flinch. He stayed glued to the Charger's bumper, refusing to let the primary target slip away.
Broadway, coming up on 35, 127. Sykes. Taking her to Sykes. Hit. Hit.
Byrd waited for his moment and delivered a surgical pit maneuver that sent the Charger sliding onto its side. With the car disabled, Byrd and backup units moved in at gunpoint, pulling the driver and 3 passengers from the wreckage.
I can't get out. I can't get out.
Why?
So I gotta let the window down.
No. Come on, come
Come
out.
out. Sir, come out. I can't get out.
Get out of the car. Let's go. Come on. Slide out.
The 160-mile-per-hour gamble ended with the driver facing a felony fleeing charge and a long walk to a jail cell. In Georgia, where even sport car drivers have no future in high-speed chases, this Honda Accord decided to test its luck against the most feared agency in the South. On May 30th, 2021, Corporal Youngblood was exiting Interstate 75 in Atlanta when this sedan crested the hill behind him at over 100 miles per hour. The driver tried to rapidly slow down the second he spotted the GSP paint job, but the gap was already closed. Youngblood pulled a hard maneuver through the gore, flipped the lights, and the hunt was on before the driver could even clear the off-ramp.
It's a blue, I can't tell if it's a Honda or a small BMW. 85 northbound.
The driver actually did pretty well for a commuter car, pushing that Accord to a suicidal 140 miles per hour, while weaving through late-night traffic and flying down the emergency lanes. In a desperate bid to vanish, he reached for the switch and killed his headlights and taillights, attempting a ghost run in total darkness.
Clear, clear, clear.
We just 1050 with the car at Rockwood and Rockwood Drive. 1050 with the cars. We just headed one the other way. He's still going to Rockwood. I got to get behind him now. We're taking 7 up the foot. Right on the tree, guy. We're taking 1050 this time. I got him there.
The luck finally ran out on East Roxborough Road after the driver clipped a civilian and shattered his suspension against a curb. He bolted into the woods, successfully dodging a taser and outrunning the K9s, but he left his entire identity in the console. Corporal Youngblood found a recent citation in the car and dialed the number. Seconds later, the iPhone in the cup holder lit up with the trooper's own caller ID. Brian Eduardo Ramos thought he was a ghost, but between his abandoned Nike shoes and that ringing phone, he was hit with a mountain of felonies, including hit and run and felony fleeing. On November 12, 2022, dispatch was flooded with calls about a pack of street racers terrorizing drivers on Interstate 30, a rolling circus of about 10 muscle cars, Dodge Challengers, Mustangs, and Chargers, were treating the highway like a lawless track. When Trooper Montai Hernandez closed in, one specific Dodge Charger decided to play hero. This driver likely had the lowest horsepower in the pack, but an ego far bigger than his engine. The chase quickly spilled off the interstate and onto the city streets, where the suspect drove with total disregard for anyone else on the road. He initially managed to dodge the pit attempts, but the Arkansas State Police don't work alone. 4 additional ASP units swarmed the area like a wolfpack, joining the hunt and systematically dismantling the Charger.
Report again, stand by. Hit him again. We are wrecked out right here at Shot Front Corner.
By the time the pursuit reached its breaking point, the Charger was a rolling wreck. One trooper successfully blocked the suspect's path and delivered a final, crushing blow from the side to seal the deal. The car was completely destroyed, and the hero of the night was hauled off to jail in handcuffs. It really makes you wonder, does Arkansas have a secret factory that hands out free Dodge Chargers to criminals? Because no matter how many the ASP turns into scrap metal, there's always another one ready to find out the hard way. The Ford Mustang 5.0 is a legendary beast, but it's a dangerous weapon in the wrong hands. On March 8, 2025, Nathan Lewis with Mustang and a Dodge Hellcat were spotted tearing down Interstate 675 at 160 miles per hour. This duo of street racers had actually managed to outrun troopers just minutes earlier. Looking at Lewis's shaky driving and reckless weaving, it's a genuine mystery how he possessed the skill to evade anyone the first time around. The Mustang's luck finally ran out when deputies dialed in and executed a precise pit maneuver. The 5.0's raw power couldn't save it from a sideways slide into a concrete barrier.
Hey, show me your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your fucking hands! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Okay.
After Lewis was pulled from the wreckage, deputies discovered a loaded 9mm pistol in the center console. Now, Nathan is swapping the driver's seat for a jail cell, facing a heavy stack of charges, including aggressive driving and reckless conduct. In Hillsborough County, even a luxury setup like a black Genesis G70 can't outrun the watchful eyes of the Florida Highway Patrol. On September 2nd, 2023, a trooper spotted this G70 deep in the middle of illegal street racing activities. When the blues and reds hit the glass, the driver didn't see a courtroom. He saw a challenge. He floored it, initiating a high-stakes pursuit that showed a complete and utter disregard for every other innocent person on the road. He killed his headlights and taillights while screaming down a perfectly illuminated highway, banking on a ghost run to vanish.
Tag Alpha X-ray 04 Juliet Sierra.
The trooper ended the run with a pit maneuver, slamming the G70 into a violent 360-degree spin that shredded its luxury suspension.
Get up, and get on the ground now.
The driver was hauled straight to the Hillsborough County Jail, where his stealth mission was met with a devastating legal reality. He's now staring down a third-degree felony for fleeing and eluding, carrying a potential 5 years in prison, alongside additional counts for reckless driving and street racing. Between a half-decade behind bars and a totaled car that no insurance company is ever going to touch, this getaway attempt was a total disaster.